previous videos, we looked at how to work out the tangent on a graph. We had a distance time graph, for instance, such as this, or it could be something like a linear algebraic equation. And what we had to do was divide the distance in y, or the amount that y has changed, by the amount that x has changed. In this case, the distance by the time. So for this slope by here, y goes up from 1.5 to 4. So that's 2.5 kilometers. And then the time it's taken to do that is from 20 to 30, which is 10. So 2.5 divided by 10, it's going 0.25 kilometers per minute. So that's simple enough with a straight line to work out the gradient, just the difference in y divided by the difference in x. But and that's going to be useful in the distance time graph, because in a distance time graph the gradient will show us velocity, and the velocity time graph the gradient will show us acceleration. If you're not sure what I mean by the distance time graphs and so on, make sure you watch the video on that. The trouble is that the gradient of a velocity or distance time graph in reality isn't usually a straight line. We don't increase our speed at a fixed rate and then suddenly flip to another speed. What would actually happen is this by here, where, for instance, where we're putting our foot on the brake, as is the case by here, the speed is gradually slowing down, so therefore the distance that we are traveling is gradually slowing down before coming to a halt. So it creates a curve pattern rather than a straight line. So how do we work out the gradient here? Well, all you've simply got to do is create a tangent to the line. So at the point at which you want to calculate the, in this case, the velocity, because it's the gradient of a distance time graph, you draw a line that touches it at that point, not crossing the line. And then we're going to use the gradient of that line as the gradient of the curve at the given point. So sometimes helps to draw a little triangle on it, and we can see that y increases by 13 from 12.5 up to 25.5 by here. X increases by 13, so then we do the same as before, divide y by x, so the gradient is 1. The gradient of the distance time graph is 1 meter per second, so the speed is 1 meter per second. So that's how we calculate the gradient at a given point on a sloped curved graph.